Well, welcome back to the Athens Church College Homebody podcast. And I'm so hype about this episode. Just want to introduce our guests of the day. We have Daniel Gray, otherwise known as D Gray, and Lily Povins over here. Why don't you guys we'll start with Daniel. Just tell me about who you are, how you got connected with Athens Church.
Yeah. Super happy to be here. Like Janie said, Daniel Gray. I'm a junior here at UGA, about to be a senior. And got involved at Athens Church my sophomore year of college and have gotten involved in a small group. I lead a small group of 10th grade guys. And then I also I'm a huddle leader here on the college team. So I've just loved every bit of it, gotten super involved, loved the people I've met here, and it's become an awesome home church. But yeah.
That's so good. One more question. What is huddle leading? What is that?
Yeah, so huddle leading it's a college group team, and so college students, and they basically kind of lead our college nights and kind of take some responsibilities and just help kind of make sure everything runs smoothly. And we have like a prayer team, a welcome team, parking team. That's what I'm on, and so yeah, whole bunch of things.
Awesome. Yeah.
And I'm Lily, or you can call me Lils because we're all friends. But I go to Athens Church. I was an LDP here for 2 years, which is our leadership development program. So glorified intern, essentially. Got to work with Starting Point, which is our spiritual formation team. I lead high school girls small group, and they're going to be sophomores. And yeah, I've been coming here since I transferred sophomore year, so.
Yes. Well, I love these people. Daniel, thank you for being here. Lily, thank you for being here. And if you don't know me, I'm Janie. I'm also an LDP on the college team, actually. So here we are. But let's cut to the chase. Let's get into it today. It's a real kicker. Today's a hot topic. We're going to be talking about party culture. Say it again, party culture. Just to start us off. So is that even important? Like, let's talk about why that's important. Is UGA a party school?
Short answer, yes. I think UGA, just to rip off the Band-Aid, there's definitely a big party scene. And I think as an upcoming freshman, it's important to know that, especially if you are identifying as a Christian, it's something you got to be aware of. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely is a party school. I think it comes with the SEC culture, but yeah, definitely. I think we have the most bars per capita downtown. So, definitely comes with the territory of UGA.
Well, there you have it, folks. There's the answer to that. All right, let's get into it. So this first question is mainly if you're a freshman, you're like, oh my goodness, I just moved to Athens. My parents just dropped me off. They set up my dorm and now they're gone. I have so much freedom. What do I do with this newfound freedom?
Yeah. Janie, that's a great question. I think that was definitely a thought for me. Coming to college, you immediately have no parents and no supervision, and you've been raised in the house for 18 years, and you get out into college and you're like, holy cow, where did my parents go? Where did my siblings go? And all the community I had back home. And then you get to college and you have all this freedom and you get to make some of your own choices, get to be able to decide what you want to do and who you want to surround yourself with. There's a ton of freedom. And so I know a lot of college students feel that, and they kind of initially just go crazy and kind of have that season of like, oh wow, I'm going to do exactly what I wanted to do in high school that my parents didn't let me do. And I think that for me, my mindset going into college was really just surrounding myself with people that were like-minded and making sure that I was surrounding myself with guys that were wanting to do the same things and pursue the same things, and also kind of having some conviction on my own. Just with being a Christian, I think you're responsible to, yes, your parents, but then mainly to God. And so I think for me, being responsible to God and him still knowing like, man, what you're doing on a Friday night or what you're doing on a Saturday night, he's still aware of that, and still you're responsible to him, and upholding a Christian faith and upholding being a person of faith and being able to be held responsible. And so I think it comes with a lot of responsibility, but then also just comes with a lot of joy set around that too.
Right. I mean, I'll just say I think it's an incredible time, and congratulations for making it to college. Like, you got here, you got into UGA or UNG, and you're here in Athens, and it's so fun. And a lot of colleges, you learn who you are. You know, you learn yourself and you learn more about how you act in certain situations or what kind of friends you make, you know, when your parents aren't essentially making friends for you. Or maybe you're on a sports team in high school or a part of a club that it's just an entirely different people group, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're going to do all these different things. And there's so much freedom. But that's a really good way to go about it. Like, who are you responsible to? Who are you accountable for? Like, who's holding you accountable? Like, God, the people you surround yourself with. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people is really important.
Galatians 1:10 kind of goes along with that. Am I now trying to win the approval of human beings or of God? Or am I trying to please people? If I were trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. And so that kind of just goes along with this. Like, man, that just needs to be your mindset of coming to college. Like, am I going to be serving all these other college students around me and doing what they're doing and going along with the crowd? Or am I going to be serving our Creator, God, and serving Him and being held responsible to Him?
Yeah. I think like ultimately going into college, like I was like, oh my gosh, freedom, you know, this is exciting. And I think it was, but I think it was freedom on like a lot of different terms, you know, like, okay, like I am not, like church is an option for me now. It's not, I'm not just going because my parents want me to. And like, but I was honestly excited about that, to find a new church and kind of get to explore that on my own. But then I was also very aware like of where I was going and like the quote unquote opportunities that like I would have, you know, or like these new experiences. But I think like kind of learning the hard way, it was like, it's very hard to balance both, you know, like balancing church and getting plugged into a church and wanting to make Christian community, but then also kind of idolizing this going out scene. And I think it ultimately comes down to a decision of, you know, what do I want my college experience to look like? And do I want to leave with friends that care about me? Or do I want to like just leave with faded memories from Saturday night and people who I'll forget?
Right. No, that's so good. I feel like there's this whole idea in the Bible, just biblically, about being set apart and who we are called to be in Christ, and what it kind of means to be set apart. So I'd love to talk about that for a minute, but just like, I don't know, I kind of had this whole idea of like, if you're, if like a bunch of people all stand up in a line and you like see people to your right and people down to your left, and like everybody steps forward and you're still standing back, like you haven't also stepped forward, then you can kind of see everyone else who's also standing back. And you're like, oh my goodness, like, you know, it might feel like lonely for a second if you choose to not do a bunch of different things that everyone else is doing, you know, and we can talk about peer pressure too and all of that. But if you choose like, hey, I'm going to live this way, you're going to find everybody else who's also choosing to live that way.
Yeah. I was going to say like, just to rip off the Band-Aid and like be blunt, like you're going to feel lonely, you know, like freshman year it can feel lonely at times, but it's not going to stay that way. And just the way that you apply yourself and put yourself into situations like different churches, different small groups, intramurals, clubs, like there's so much outside of the party scene to get involved in. But as we were kind of talking earlier, like it's about kind of allowing yourself that, don't isolate yourself, but like be okay in the isolation because it's temporary, and God's going to bless your decision to just wait with Him. And that's when these doors are going to open and friends are going to come in. Like, pray about it too. Like God will answer your requests. Like I remember just sitting in my dorm room, like, God, give me friends, like, please. Yeah. And it doesn't happen overnight, but the more you show up with God by your side, like those things will be given to you, you know, like ask and you receive, knock and the door will be opened. Like,
it's good.
Loneliness is not forever, and God sees you when you're alone in your dorm room, you know?
Yes. Yeah.
And what a cool opportunity too. I mean, just to be set apart and to be a college student who wants to be set apart. I think there is way more people than you think coming to college that want that and want to be set apart and different. And I think it's so cool. Like Janie, I love that picture of just people stepping back, like not going along with the crowd, not going along with what everybody else is doing. And I think, one, God rewards that. I think that I've seen even in my own life, just that aspect of, yes, there is like an initial season of loneliness where you're feeling, man, I could be out downtown and making a ton more friends and meeting a bunch of new people. But I think that the friends that I've met and the people that I know now, I would not trade it for the world of just these awesome guys who have surrounded me with such great Christian community that can also just wanting to be set apart and wanting to just be different. And I think it's just such a cool such a cool aspect of everybody taking that step back together and wanting to be set apart. I think it's a cool calling. I don't think we always think as college students, it's like, oh man, these are just 4 years. We can do whatever we want. And we'll figure out Christianity afterwards. It's like, no, we can figure it out now and be on mission now and really take a stand in college and step into adulthood, which is, I think, really cool.
Yeah. I think something I've learned too is like wholesome fun is a lot more fun than reckless fun.
Ooh,
like I think having to get creative and like come up with fun things to do that don't look like the norm.
Yeah.
It leaves you with better memories and less regret.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like lately I've been like, guys, can we go get a craft from Hobby Lobby and just like sit and do a craft and watch a movie? Like that, you're going to laugh harder and have so much more fun than like, you know, going out to the bars, drinking and just, I don't know, there's a lot more fruit to those kinds of memories than the ones that you make downtown.
I feel like, honestly, guys, never underestimate the power of a dance party in your own house with all of your best friends. Like, I mean, the amount of times that I've played Just Dance with my roommate, oh my goodness. Or, well, when I was a freshman, we'd go over to like one of my friends' dorms and we'd literally just be playing Just Dance for like hours on end. And it was so much fun. Oh my
Invest in a Wii. Don't invest in the bars, guys. They're making enough money. Let's all support Wii and buy Just Dance.
You know what I'm talking about?
I can get behind Wii Golf, but
Wii Golf.
yeah, I've never had a dance party in my house, but I completely agree that I think that there's so many other fun opportunities you can have. I mean, go back to like, when I was in high school, my buddies would just go hang out at a house and play basketball till like 1 a.m. And it's just stuff like that where it's like there's no alcohol involved, but you're still having way more fun. And I think that's something, that creativity of finding something to do is something that we need to like hold on to. And I think we're really good at that as humans. We can.
Yeah. I think too, like something this is making me think of is just how like comparison is the thief of joy. You know, like I think social media is a big part of that too. Like I'll see a big group of people going out on whatever night of the week and doing whatever. And I'm like, oh man, like they have so many friends. Like that's such a big group, like whatever. I guarantee you none of them even know like their mom's name. You know what I mean? Like, but I have like a couple close friends that I can do all sorts of fun things with, and I know everything about them. And I think like truly like you're wanting to be known, you know, and you're wanting to be loved. And I think that being better with quality over quantity, it's a hard lesson to learn, but ultimately if you're seeking quantity, it dies off quick, you know, but quality lasts. Like this is kind of silly, but I like to think about college as like my time to find my bridesmaids. Right. You know, and it's like, but sweet. I don't want my bridesmaids to be like 15 girls that saw me, you know, doing whatever on the weekend. You know, I want them to be people who like invited me to those wholesome like craft nights or Just Dance parties and like were there with me when I was crying or were there with me when like college was really hard, not just who were there with me because they needed someone to go out with. You know,
you want friends who are going to have your back and all of that. And I want to backtrack for just a second to continue talking about this idea of being set apart and like the value in that, because that's true. Like once you kind of decide that, you know, you're called to be in the world, but not of the world, you're going to find people who are going to be those like wholesome people who are going to be your bridesmaids, you know, or your groomsmen or whatever. Those people who really matter and who are there for you when it counts. And just a little bit of my story with that and the loneliness aspect of everything, like my freshman year, first 6 months of freshman year was just like really lonely because all my little friend group that was kind of just formed for me, they all, you know, just were out every weekend, and my roommate was like pre-med major, so like super academically, you know, committed. And so I'm just in my room like, oh, what am I gonna do? Just sit on my bed, play my guitar. Like I don't even know. And I want to go back to that point you said, like loneliness is okay for a little bit because it's not forever. And learning how to rest in your loneliness for a second because God will reward it. But also on the other side of loneliness, like when you do decide, okay, I'm going to keep putting myself out there, the second you decide you want to be seen and known and loved, you can be. And there is a way, because for me, I just started like attending Athens church for the first 6 months of college, like just went to church on Sunday. That was really it. And then I decided like, oh, I kind of want to like know these people who are actually a part of this house. Like we say Athens Church College is a home away from home. This is the Homebody podcast. Like these are people that feel like home. And so I want a home, you know, I want to be known, I want to be seen. So I started serving, getting involved. And like the second I decided to do that, I started finding my people, which is so cool. I started finding those people who are like, these are gonna be my bridesmaids, you know, people who are gonna be in my wedding someday, people who are there for me when it counts, there for me when I'm crying, like people who watched me get baptized and literally give my life to the Lord and celebrate me continually and continually pray for me in that. So like the second you decide, I don't like this loneliness, don't freak out and just decide like, oh, I'm so lonely, so I'm going to join every single thing that I could possibly join. And like, it's so, you know, and you just try to do so much and try to make as many friends as you can and not know them well.
Yeah.
Like that's going to be really exhausting.
Yeah.
It's going to be exhausting and also unfulfilling. But the second you decide like, I'm lonely, but I want to get to know people who want to get to know me, like get plugged in your campus ministry, in your church, if that's Athens Church or not. Like it was for me, and I found more than a home here, which is so incredible. But yeah, do y'all have anything else on the set apart thing?
I think just like intentionality is huge. Like I think coming in as a freshman, like do the thing, do the church hopping, the club hopping, whatever, but then ultimately like make a choice and decide and then dive all in into that one area. Like
don't
I think
wait too long.
Yeah, I think that was like kind of a struggle for me. Was like when I transferred here, I joined like every campus ministry. I was like every night I was going somewhere doing something, and then you know I would come here Sundays, whatever. But then once I decided to make Athens Church like my home church, like that's when it became like so much better. And not that like, I mean, it could be any church, but I think once you get plugged into one and you really like invest in there, like once I started leading and, you know, serving and all that, you start to see the same people more often. And I think what's intimidating is Athens and UGA itself is just such a big like college and such a big town. And so you have to be intentional about making it smaller.
Like Janie, I can have the similar story. Like first time going to college nights at Athens Church, I was like, holy cow, this is like a huge group of people. Like I've never seen this many college students together for college ministry. And so like going there for the first time, I was like, holy cow, this feels so big. And then really just making that decision to get involved and kind of to get involved on different teams at Athens Church and go to church on Sunday and join a small group, it became so small. It really did become like, man, I know so many people and I see them every time and I love it. And I think that that's really cool, is like that aspect of, man, you plug yourself in, you're going to get rewarded for that and kind of meet a bunch of new people.
Yeah. Everyone's lonely. Okay, so be the person who, like, I've been the awkward person so many times who's like asking a girl for her number, and everyone's like, you just asked her for her number? I'm like, yes, I did, because I want a friend. Like, ask for her number, ask for different people's numbers. The phone goes both ways too. Like, if you're like, why won't they text me to ask me to hang out? Text them. You know, like, you have to be a little uncomfortable being like the nagging person, because you're not nagging. Like, they are just as desperate for someone to reach out. And so I think just keeping that in mind, like, be the person who makes the plans. Like, you may not be the type A planner. I don't care. Do it. You know, like get uncomfortable, because like that's how you're going to find community.
Great word.
Yes, that's so good. I mean, I can relate to that with, I love to get coffee with people. I love coffee in general, but I love to get coffee with people. The amount of times like I've literally walked up to a girl and like not know, or like kind of known her through some other people, and I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like we would be friends. You just have to say like, hey, this is random, but like we have some mutual friends. I feel like we would be friends. Like, let's get coffee. I literally had this one girl reach out to me over Instagram and was like, this is so random, but like I've heard your name come up in different conversations, and I'm just like, I need to get to know this girl. And I was like, okay, yeah, I've never met you, but let's go on a walk down Village. Let's get coffee. And we did. And it was so fun.
It's so fun. And like, I know you'll have that freshman 2020 class of whatever, like, you know, to find your roommate Instagram page. Like, they don't even have to be your roommate. Like, DM them. Yeah. Just make friends. Because everyone is trying, you know?
Everyone is trying. This is so good. I would love to shift the conversation a little bit, because we've kind of talked about like, you know, there is community. You can find community in a church. You can find community, go into music events, go into the Hobby Lobby and making crafts, or, you know, playing the Wii in your house, or just like chilling with some dudes playing basketball. Like, you can find community that's not in the party scene. But let's talk about the party scene for a second. Let's talk about the party scene for a second. I feel like to ask bluntly, like, is it bad to go downtown? Like, what is the take on that? Because I know, Lily, you were kind of trying to say about like what is your intention behind it and all these things. But let's talk about that.
Yeah. I think inherently, like, putting yourself, I think it's about knowing yourself too. Like, if I put myself downtown, like, is there temptation there? You know, and like there is, and like ultimately, are you the kind of person who's going to give into that temptation?
Right.
And I think like going out there also, I feel like it's very much about who you're with. Like, are you going out with people who do want to, you know, get drunk and do all these things? And, you know, are you going out with girls who are just trying to find a guy, you know, like kind of what is the intention behind it? But I think like if you're going downtown to go listen to live music, like go, you know, like that's so fun. But I think ultimately it comes down to like, what's your goal? You know, is your goal to go home with a guy? Or is your goal just to go dancing with your friends? You know, and I think it's a lot of asking yourself that. And I think as Christians, like, we are meant to be reflective. And it's like, you know, why am I going out? Why am I drinking? Like, is this to cover up something? Am I just like really getting into this whole freedom thing, but I'm kind of taking it too far? And like, I don't know. I think it just really comes down to also, what are you trying to project? Because if you're identifying as a Christian, like, but you're also acting a fool, what, you know, like, what are you wanting other people to perceive about you? You know, and like, not to say that there's judgment or condemnation for any of those things, but it's also like, you know, if you are like, for me as like an active member of Athens Church and like someone who worked here, it's like, if I'm out downtown, like being crazy, like I'm reflecting the church, you know, and like I'm representing Christ right now. And like, is that something that, you know, I want to portray, you know, if I'm trying, but I've also been, you know, downtown of age and just like with my friends, and I've been, and I've had conversations about Jesus, you know, like I think like there's opportunity to like, I mean, when you love him so deeply, it's hard to avoid having conversations about him.
That's good.
But I think like, just to sum that up, putting yourself in that environment isn't inherently bad. It's just what you do. Like,
how do you reflect Christ in like every place you go, everywhere you are? Because especially if people like associate you with like, hey, that girl goes to Athens Church, like, or this girl's involved with Wesley or this campus ministry or whatever it is, like, they're gonna be watching you, you know. And so it is really, I think, about your attention, definitely the people you go with.
I think we'd all be so surprised by the amount of people that are watching you while you're doing different things, especially being a Christian. I think that there are constant eyes on you, whether that's just people you know or people that just like know of you. I think people are constantly watching you. And so for me, like my freshman year, I really only went downtown if like my girlfriend had a date night for her sorority. And so we would go, and like that was obviously like allowed to go in underage, and you don't have to have a fake ID or anything like that, and not drinking. And so I think that's okay. And I think it was a lot of fun with our friends, and we just had a bunch of people who we would kind of just all go and have fun as a group, and we'd go get dinner before and then take pictures and then go to the date night for a little bit. And so, I think that there's ways to do it. And I think even like there, like I never had a drink in my hand. I never was drinking underage. And so I think for that, like all those people that I do know that are like either older than me or just not believers that are looking at me and like, oh, Daniel's not drinking. I think that does have a testimony, and it does have like a testament of like my faith, and people are watching you and being like, okay, this kid is a Christian and he's not doing this. Even though they might be like, oh, well, that kid's just weird, he's just not drinking. But I think it also speaks to who we are as Christians and being set apart.
Yeah, that's so good. Let's lean into that for just a second, talking about drinking specifically. Like there's so much around it, and so many people have questions about like, do I drink? Like, what is too much? Or like, is it bad? It's like just inherently bad, and I'm you know, judging people. Like I'd say, like, obviously we are called to love everybody, but it is as someone who represents Christ, like I want to represent Christ well. And I'd say with my own experience, like coming in freshman year, I had already decided before I came in freshman year, like, I don't think I'm going to be a part of the party scene. Not even I don't think, like I know I'm not going to be a part of the party scene, just because that's not who I want to be, and that's not what I really want to reflect. But I mean, if same kind of thing like you were talking about, if there was a date night or something and it was like all like that, you know, like I would go and have fun and it was great. But like at house parties and stuff, like me and my roommate would literally bring, like I have a Yeti cup with a lid and a little straw. Like I would just bring whatever like water, like lemonade or some like LaCroix, something, you know, that I'm just like, I have my own cup with the lid. It was important. And just be able to go to like house parties with my friends and just hang out and, you know, like have a lot of fun. And then when things get crazy, I'm like, I want to take myself out of the situation. Like I'm going to drive home because I wasn't drinking. And me and my roommate are just going to leave. Cause this is no longer an environment that I feel like I want to be in. But like, it's still important to like, you know, be with friends. But you can still like, I know we kept talking about how you can find so much community and do so many other random things. If that's not something you want to do at all, like that is also completely okay. But there is a way to still be friends with that crowd that you so dearly love, and uphold, you know, your standards of that.
I think it's so important too. I think that we're not supposed to just be so set apart where we never surround ourselves with. I mean, Jesus was on ministry and surrounded himself with Pharisees and tax collectors the whole time. And
absolutely.
So I think it's so important. I think that the way we handle it is important. Like Janie, like you were saying, I think you got to know yourself and know who you are as a person. Like if you're the person who, if you're going to go to a house party and you're going to be tempted to drink, then you probably shouldn't be surrounding yourself with those situations where there is alcohol involved. For me and you, Janie, like we were obviously like not tempted to drink, and like that's obviously like great. Just to like kind of be able to go to those places and not feel tempted. And I think it's also a testament just to like those people watching you that are like, oh man, they can have fun without alcohol. Like they can be themselves and still have fun.
And still have fun. Yes,
I think,
absolutely.
Yeah. I think a lot of alcohol is like you thinking that you can't be yourself. And so you need something else to suppress or elevate who you are. And I think that's important to just kind of switch that mindset of like, no, I can be myself and be completely confident in who I am, wherever I'm at. And
if those people make you feel otherwise, like those are not the people you want to be surrounding yourself with anyways. Also want to talk about like peer pressure for a minute, because I feel like that's really important. I will say though, I feel like whenever I wasn't drinking and my friends were like, are you drinking something? And be like, no, this is like water, like this is lemonade or whatever it is. None of my friends were like, oh my gosh, drink this or drink this. Like no one actually cares. Can we just say like, I have not ever felt pressured to drink when I don't want to. Like no one really cares what, you know. It's
a nice part about
doing.
College. Everybody gets here and doesn't really care about other people.
Exactly. Like they're not really gonna care about what you're doing. If, you know, if they're all going downtown and you're like, they're like, oh, come downtown with us. You're like, I gotta get to bed early. Like it's whatever. They're like, oh, okay. Like no one's like, oh, you're being all whatever. Like you're not being fun. No one is really like that. And at least in situations I've been in, like, you're not really going to feel peer pressure. So don't even feel like, oh, I'm going to be conformed to all these things. You really won't be. Like that's not actually much of an issue.
And this is a weird analogy, but I always say like whenever you go to church on Sunday, like whatever you were wearing on Sunday, like if you ask someone like 2 days later, like what you were wearing on Sunday, like they will not be able to tell you 99% of the time.
No.
And so like that aspect of like everybody's really just thinking about how they look or how they present themselves.
Right.
So in terms of peer pressure, like, you might be thinking that people care if you're drinking or not, but at the end of the day, they're really only thinking about themselves, and it's not a big deal.
I was going to say, I feel like the most peer pressure comes from people themselves being uncomfortable. Like, I think whenever I have been pressured to drink, it's because the person pressuring me doesn't want to be drinking alone. And so I think that there's like this level of, you know, like, hey, like, I know, like, hey, why don't you not drink with me? Like, I promise you we can have fun. And I think, like, for me, something I learned going into college was to just be so, like, outrageously comfortable with myself. Like, just being myself so much to the point, like, I don't even know. Like, it was uncomfortable. But I was like, but this is me. And that is when people get drawn in and, like, you know, I would be at, like, little parties and I wouldn't be drinking. And people would accuse me of drinking. And I'm like, no. This is the joy of the Lord.
This is the joy of the Lord.
This is the joy of the Lord. Like, you can have fun.
People ask me, you know, whatever, but I just have so much energy as a person. If you know me, I'm going to be just doing cartwheels for fun, just in the hallway, like just because I can. And people are so endeared to people being fully their self. You know, and that always also just goes to show, like, if you are just unashamedly who you are, like, by the grace of God, I am what I am.
Yeah.
You know, people are going to be like, wow, that's amazing. Like, that confidence that comes from God, that's going to be so admirable to them. And then it opens a door for you to be like, hey, actually the way I am is because I have so much confidence in Christ, and you can too.
Right.
100%.
You know, you can too.
Yeah. And I think like coming into college, like we're all having to figure out who we are apart from like our hometown and apart from our hometown friends. And so if you are trying to figure that out through alcohol, you're prolonging figuring out who you are. You know, like you're adding years to the like self-reflection, like who am I question. Whereas like if you just kind of dive into that uncomfortableness right away, you start to realize who you are sooner.
Great point.
Good. This has been so good. I sadly running out of time here, but if you have any other like just final thoughts, little punchline, like what else would you want to say?
I have two little quick things, but do you want to go?
No,
okay.
you go.
Mine is, okay, I'm not condoning the going out scene, but if you decide to, you know, do that, like just still show up, because I think you'll realize like this is not a judgmental place. Like when you walk in these doors, like no one is here to condemn you or judge your actions, but I think there's also this level of like being 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And I know for me, it just became this like, I'm tired of being a hypocrite. Like once I started serving and being a leader to high schoolers, I was like, I am telling them to live one way and I'm living the other, and this just feels wrong. And like it wasn't, no one told me that I was doing anything wrong. No one like shamed me, but it was a personal conviction. And I was like, I can't live like this anymore. Like it honestly was exhausting. And then my last one is just this fear of missing out. I think we are all so just plagued by FOMO, but something that I've also learned the hard way is that FOMO is like this temporary thing, but regret will last a lifetime, and it's just not worth it. So
no, that's so good. So good.
Yeah, I got one more verse to share. 1 Corinthians 15:33-34. Do not be misled. Bad company corrupts good character. Come back to your senses as you ought, and stop sinning. For there are some who are ignorant of God, and I say this to your shame. And so I think that's just such a good scripture to remind yourself of, like, I mean, just to do not be misled. Like, surround yourself with good community, surround yourself with guys and girls that are making you a better person and a better follower of Jesus. I think I've been so thankful and would not trade it for the world, the community that I've surrounded myself with in college. It's been awesome. And so just try and find that community. It might take a little bit, it might take some effort, but once you do, hold on and it'll make yourself so much better, and so much, you'll enjoy life in college so much more than what the party scene and drinking scene will offer.
Yeah. Wait, can I do one more mom piece of advice?
Do it.
Okay, this is so mom of me, but like, you're not invincible. And I think like it's so important to know, like, be safe, find people who care about you, like wherever you're going, whatever you're doing, and like, don't walk home alone, like all those things that your mom tells you. Listen, because like, I mean, as much as I want to think that I'm invincible, like we're not, and there, it may not be you, but there's other people out there who, you know, have different intentions. So just, you know, be safe.
Take the mom advice. Be safe.
Listen to your mama.
Use the buddy system. Well, y'all, this has been an absolute honor just to have you guys here and talk about all of these hard things.
Thanks for having us.
This is like your older brother, older sister in Christ here, just trying to help you walk with the Lord in a great way. But that wraps up our episode of Party Culture on the Athens Church College Homebody podcast. Please stay tuned for more episodes. We've got some incredible topics coming up, but we'll catch you guys next time.
Yay.
Bye. See ya.